Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about like in roles and groups. So now as of now we have finished instance creation, users, roles and groups creation. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss about like in filters, conditions, form and list view options. Okay, so that's how which we will discuss today. Okay, so this will be available. The filters, conditions, form, list, and view options will be available for whole instance, not only for specific table. If you open user table, if you open role or group or incident or a problem or anything, whatever the table might be. Okay, so these filters, conditions will be available in the list view, and in the form view and the list view options also will be available. Okay, so let's get into this and we will check on each and every option available in our ServiceNow table so that it will be easy to navigate and it will be comfortable for us to work with ServiceNow. Okay, so let's me navigate to like an incident table. Any table is fine actually. Okay, so you can go with like an any table, no specific kind of restrictions or something else to open and go ahead. Okay, so this is an incident table actually. So now let me go with like in the first thing, what is list and what is form view? What is list view? What is form view? Okay, so the list of records, whatever which is available in this page right now, whatever you are seeing in the page. Okay, so this we call it as a list view. List of records is available with a column name and the records as well. The horizontal thing, whatever which we have here is like in the records recall, and the vertical thing number, open, sort, description, and everything is nothing but columns. Okay, so this we call it as a list view. And if I open any record, let's say example, the first one which I opened it. Okay, so this is form view. So this looks like in just a form, right? We are gonna fill these details over here with all the fields, and this is a form. Okay, so form is nothing but, let's say if I go to like in any government office or something, they will provide me form to fill it, right? So in the same way here, it looks like in the field and the values over here. This is the field, this is the field, and this is the values over here. So this we call it as a form view, and this we call it as a list view. So if I open user table, or maybe like in role table, maybe like in some other table, SC task or request or problem change or anything. Okay, so then these will be available. Even there also these list and form view will be available, and the filters, conditions and everything will be available. Okay, so now you got a clear about like in what is form view and what is list view. Okay, we'll go with like an options later. Before that, in the list view, so what are filters and what are conditions and how we are going to use it. Then I'll go with like in the options available in the list view, then I'll go with the form view. Okay, so let me go with like in filters. So filters, before showcasing in a tool what is filters and all, so let me tell you what's the purpose of using a filters. Let's say example, the general meaning of filters is nothing but, so I just need to get some specific data from a bulk amount of records, or else there is like an 100 records or 50 records. Among those 50 records, I need to get based on one specific condition, those records should come up. Okay, let's say example, in user table, let's go with like a user table for better understanding because you already know about it. Okay, so in user table, the first name starts with, let's say example, John. The first name starts with John and the department belongs to development. Okay, so those records only I just need to filter out. Based on this condition, I need to filter up. Okay, so that kind of scenarios or else those kind of, requirement whenever we get from a client, or else whenever we are working with like a different task internally. Okay, so we can use those conditions by filtering. then what will happen? Only name starts with John, and those who belong to like in development only, the list will come up. The rest of the records will be hidden. Okay, so let me show you how we are gonna do. See here, there is a search bar. Search bar we do have like in a global search bar. We have this is one search bar, and then this is one more search bar. Okay, this is application navigator we call it, and this is a global search bar. And the other search bars which we have here is like in this is a one search bar which we have in the top on the banner search bar. And then here, see, if I click on this one, hide column search row. Okay, so here if I click it, then the search bars will come up. So it's taking time. Okay, see here the search is there. Let's say example, here I have a David Miller. Okay, so I can search with like in David. Type the David and click enter. Now only the David Miller list will come up. This is a filter which we do. Okay, let's say example, if I type directly with like a David, and before that if I add cap star. Star is nothing but, let's say example, if David is in the first letter, first word is David. Okay, if I add on like a David star over here, then for the whole value, wherever the David might be there, okay, so that should come up. Let's say example in description, if I go to the description, okay, so if I keep the network over here, let's say example, anything which you can go ahead. Okay, see here the network is in a first place, but whereas here it is in a last place, the position of it. Okay, and here also it's there in the last. So I just need to tell you like, and if I keep it as a star, okay, it will search the whole value. Okay, the total value, whatever we have, it will search with like in these 6 characters. It's like nothing but network word, and it will display the results. Okay, so this is what one of a search bar we have. Okay, if I want to hide this one, just click on this, and that won't come up over there. If I want to do it, just click on here. Okay, so now I'll go with like an actual filter icon here. See, we have a funnel, or else hide or show filter. Just click on here, and now it's loading. So now see, all records, so we have filtered with like a short description contains network. This is a filter which we added. So see, short description contains network. So you can go with like in here, the all the fields of an incident table will be available. Let's say example, as before I showed you, like in caller is David Miller, right? So see, caller is here we have like in multiple operators. We can choose any of an operator. Caller is not, is empty, is not empty, starts with, end with, contain, does not contain, is anything, and so on. Okay, so depending on like an our preferences, okay, our work, we will go ahead with like an any of an operator over here, and we will search it. Let's say example, here this is a reference field. Actually, I'll tell you what is reference field later. Okay, as of now, let's go with like an system administrator. So now I just need to get those records whose caller is system administrator. See here we have a caller field. Okay, so how many records I have in an instance? It might be like in 100, let's say example. So in 100 records, I just need to get whose records, or those records who having caller name is system administrator, that will be filtered. Okay, so if I click on like and run here, see here I have a run filter. So now see, the caller is system administrator. I have 3 records. Okay, so before it was like in many records, right? So if I want to remove this one, so here I can remove, or else if I click on like an all, that also will be removed. Or else if I click on like an again the funnel icon, the filter will open. So now see here I have an and or. So if I want to add multiple conditions, then I'll click on like an and or. So the difference between these two is nothing but, if I click on like an and, all the conditions should satisfy. If I click on like an or, either 1 or 2 conditions, if it is satisfied, then that will come up. So we have a union in a, when we are studying in a school days, right? So we do have like an union intersection. So that in the same way we do have like an and or. Okay, so let's say example, if I add any data over here, let's say example app. Okay, so now I have added end. So it should satisfy both these two. Okay, short description should have a app, or else let's go with like a network is already there. Let's go with like a net, click on enter. See, now I have like in only two records, because here we have a two conditions: caller is equal to system administrator and short description starts with net. So both will come. So both conditions should satisfy. So see here, this satisfied and the short description also satisfied. Let's say if I go with like an or, what will happen? Either any of the thing is like unsatisfied, then that will come up. Let's say short description starts with, let me go with like a net again and click on run. So now see, I got multiple. In is nothing but it will go ahead with like a short description starts with net. Okay, and then call or, either this or both. Both will come up. Okay, that's the difference between like an and or. Okay, so let me go with like an another options what here we have available, right? See, we have a run is nothing but running a filter, and the second thing save is nothing but we can save this filter for next purpose as well, further use as well. Okay, and here we can add and or as well. Instead of clicking over here also will work. Okay, and add sort. So here we can sort this. Let's say example, here I have mentioned I can call it a system administrator, and here short description. I need to move over here up and down, then that will go ahead. Okay, and then pin the filters is nothing but, so I have filter like in 5 to 6 filters I have added over here. Okay, I need to pin this filter and that will be available here. Okay, the filter will be like in pin and will be available. So next time, no need to click on like an filter and no need to add those filters again and again. Pin is nothing but sticking that specific filter upon the under the banner. Okay, so that's what about like in the filters, which we will go ahead. Okay, so here see we do have like in few more options as well. Let me go with one by one. So we click on like an all. So now all the records of incident records will be displayed over here. See, 69 records are available. Okay, so now see here, this is a incident records available, right? So if I click over here, so we have a views as well. So default view, okay, indicator spanner, measure instance on all these things. Okay, let me tell you what is view. So view is nothing but something, arrangement of fields. Okay, you will get a better understanding if I go to the form view. Okay, let's say this is a default view. So arrangement of fields is nothing but, in my project, I'm working with an incident table. Okay, in another project as well, the same internal instance only. So some other team is working with the incident again, but their purpose is different. Their requirement is different. My requirement is different. Let's say example, I I am going to work with like an only with number, caller, category, subcategory, and priority and assignment group. So I just need to display only these fields whenever I click on any of a record. Okay. For the other team, okay, they need every field should be displayed over there for tracking. Let's say example. Okay. So what they can do for everything, so they can remind it as like in same default view, which they can go. Okay. So those who need a specific field should be displayed over there. Okay. So they can create this view for them. Okay, then they can change the view as a their custom view, which they can click on and that will be available. Let's say example, if I click on self view, let's say self service I created. These are the views which is already there as in an instance actually. Okay, if I click on self service, look at the picture form. See, now the fields are different, but still I'm in the same incident table with the same record, but the fields displaying over here is different. So view is nothing but something. I'm going to display number of fields should be, or else arrangement of fields. How the field should be, which field should be displayed, which field should be hidden. Okay, that's how which about like in views actually. So which view we want, you can go ahead and you can select it. Okay, and the filters. So these are the filters which already saved. So I told you, right, we can save the fields. See here, whenever I click on that, so here we have a filter called active is equal to true, caller is system administrator, or opened by system administrator, and universal request is empty. This is the saved fields, filters. So the filters will be available here. Okay, and we have a group by as well. Group by here we have an option, so I'll tell you whenever we are going over there. Okay, the next thing is like in show. So how many records should showcase over there? Let's say example here, see I have a 69 records. Okay, so in one page, whenever I scroll it, so how many records should come in a first page, and the second page, how many it should go. So that's what which we go ahead with like in show. So as of now, 20 records. So see here only 20 records will come up. Let me remove the filter right now. So see in one page, there is like an only 20 records will come up. So that's what which is already selected, show in 20 records. If I click on like in 50. So now see, I can scroll it till 50 records. See here, it's like in 50 records. Even I can go with like in 100 as well. Show 100 records. So now all the 69 records will be in the same page. Okay, so that's how which we are going to showcase number of records should display in a page. Okay, it's just for like a displaying purpose.
Priyanka,
Then,
I have a
yeah.
question here.
Mm,
So if you just click on the three lines again and above filters, if you go to filters,
mm.
so active assign. So these are can be edited by us or only by the
These are
system.
the default things which we can edit it as well, but while editing, we need to save it again. But as a default, which the actual thing is like in whenever the out of the box functionalities was there, out of the functionality is nothing but which is already there in our instance. Okay,
Okay.
so you can utilize those things, or else if you want to edit something, so keep the out of the box functionality as it is and create a new one. That is a best practice actually. But if you edit it as well, even that also will work. But as a best practice, go with a new one, because we should not disturb the out of the box functionalities. That's a point
Okay.
which we need to remember as a developers.
Sure.
Not only this one, we do have a default scripts as well in business rules or scripting tools or some other stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so any requirement which you need to customize, or if you need to change something else, okay, so you keep the same what is a script as it is. You can inactivate that out of the box thing and create a one new business rule or any kind of script, whatever you need, the new one, and go ahead. So disturbing or else modifying or editing some other scripts with like an out of the box functionality is not a good practice. We can do, but that's not a good practice. We should not prefer that, because in future, if we want to roll back or if we want to have a same kind of functionality, if you change that one, so we might lose something. So keeping the same thing as it is and inactivating that, and then you use the same script and you can edit in a new stuff. That's
Got
on
it.
which we can go ahead. Okay,
Yes.
good question. Okay, so that's how. And then after show, we have like an refresh list. It's nothing but something reloading and refreshing we do, right? That's the same thing. And then create favorite. So if I want to make it as a favorite, so as we discussed earlier, so here we have a star, right? If I click on the star, so it will be add on to like in my favorites. Okay, self-service business application added. Okay, so in the same way, if I want to make this as a favorite, so this is like an one more option we have. If I click on like in create favorite, see here, I can make like an any icon over there, and if I go ahead with like an anything, let's say I'm using like in this. Okay, so this will display like this, and I can go to the favorites again, refresh it, and it will be there in the favorites. So creating a favorite, so which we can do by clicking on create favorite. Okay, so let this load. Click on the icon, you'll get it. And see, I have an incidence in a favorites. That's how which we can go ahead. Okay. The next thing, Here the options is like in done, right? So this is the banner options which is available. Okay, and here we have like in one more search as well. So here this also which we can utilize. Let's say example as I showed you before net. Okay, here also which you can do. But as a developers, we will not focus much searching over here. It's there is actually, so both will work on, but most of the developers as a experienced people will go and search here only instead of a top search. Okay, so that's how it will be. And then let me go back and see here, this is a selecting all. So if I click on here, I can select all the records at the same time, or else single selection also can be done. Okay, after selecting, so we can perform the actions as well whenever we click on these stuff. Okay, I will tell you what and all the options available here and here as well. So let me go with like in, so if I click on like in these column options, the three dots over here. Okay, so anything, anywhere you can click on here. So it will be available for that specific field. Okay, let's say example, let me go with like in one by one option available over here. So here we have a sort A to Z, right? So sorting is nothing but something, the order or sequence which you will get it. So now if I click on like an A to Z, so it will come from like an A to Z. So A value is like in missing and B, C also missing, and it will go with like in D. Okay, if I click on like in Z to A, from alphabet Z to A, it will come up. So sorting with the values for a better search. Okay, and then we'll go with like in show visible task board. So if I click on this one, so the same kind of list view data will be displayed in a task board with a visualization. You can check it out with like in the caller name and everything. Okay, see here the caller name will be available and how many are there with this category and everything which will be available in a visual task board. Okay, so if I click on this, the details will appear over here. Okay, so this is about like in just a view which is available just in a visual format. Okay, and the next thing is like in, if I group it, so group by, if I do like in group by, then I can ungroup it. Okay, after doing this, I'll go ahead. So let's say example, how group by is nothing but, let's say if I click on like a group by category, see, so it is going to show like in how many category values is like an empty is 4, database having 2 records, hardware having 10 records, inquiry and help having 35 records, network having 5, and software having 13. If I click on this, I'll get those 13 records here. So it's just group buying with the category, how many values are there, and then the count of the records as well, it will come. Okay, so if I click on like in the database, then we have a 2 with the database of a category. So if I want to group by now, see ungroup, which I can do now. Okay, that's how about like in group by. So we use this group by mostly for the priority field, state field, and category very frequently. Okay, and then next we'll go with like in bar chart, pie chart. Let's say example, let me go with like in group by, the priority is like in, I'll group by this one. Okay, let's say these details I just need to share respective persons or else any what is it, manager or client or someone else in a report format. Okay, so I can make this as like in bar chart or pie chart. Okay, it will redirect it to the report table. See, sys underscore report underscore template. With the data, you can create a report and you can share across as well. Okay, by using like in sharing, you can go ahead. So report is one of the concept which we have already. Okay, so whenever we are discussing about like in the concept, we will let you know about like in full details regarding how to create a report and sharing and everything. Okay, so that's like in bar chart. If I want to go with like in pie chart, I mean that also will go ahead. Okay, and the next thing is nothing but launch interactive analysis. So there is like an interactive filters actually. Okay, so if I want to make this interactive filters in a dashboards, okay, then I can utilize this interactive analysis. Okay, this is what one of the new feature which we got in the latest version. Okay, before this option was not available. Before we did directly navigating into like in dashboards and everything, and then we are going to do there. But whereas here they have given here. Okay, the next thing, configure. So this is what we will use very frequently. So see here we have a list layout, list calculations, list control, all is nothing but this is what I like a lot. If I click on like an all, so what and all the configurations or customizations or everything which is there with we did it with the incident table will come up. See, business rules, there are 72 business rules are there with the incident table. Client scripts we have 28. Dictionary entries we have 97. So everything will be available with a incident table. Okay, so if I click on like in the table option available in a configure, then I will navigate to like in the table of an incident. Okay, so this like in loading. So see, this is a table of an incident and fields and everything will be available here. Okay, and if I go back, there is like a few more options. Each option, whatever is the things is like an available, there is a concept. Security rules is like an ACL, business rule and everything. These, every option available over here is a single individual concept, which we will discuss. Okay, then next thing is like an import and export. So if I want to import these details, okay, so let's say example, if I want to import 10 incident records into this incident table, then I can utilize like an Excel sheet and that sheet can be imported by using this import. If I click on like an import, then I can import a file. Okay, then I can upload it. Then the fields will be added and the records also will be added according to that. Okay, and then export. So even export also I can do. Let's say example. So I need to copy this data. Let's say example, how many are there? Here I have like in 4 records, right? More than that. So these critical data, I just need to share to the respective person. So these should be in an Excel sheet. I need to share it to the person. So copy pasting, keeping an Excel over here, copy pasting is not required over here. Just click on like an export and then Excel, and it will be downloaded and it will be there in your local machine, and you can upload it to the respective person and attach it and you can go ahead. So just click on this and you'll get it. Okay, so that's how which you can upload the data. Okay, so yeah, let me show you this as well for a better understanding. Okay, so
So
whatever
we can apply the filters and share the data what they
exactly
require, anything like that.
right. So see here you can, here you go with all the details which is there. Okay, so that's how it about like in export. And here see we have a update selected, update all, data management, and these three is like in the same thing. Okay, so let's say example, if I click on selected few details, let's say example 2 records which I selected. So I can update these two at the same time by clicking on like an update selected. I can update any of a field value and that will be updated after clicking on update button. Okay, in the top right corner we have, right? That's how. And then we have a update all as well. So without selecting these things, so it will be available all the things which we can update at the same time. Okay, and data management, so we can delete and update at the same time with preview. Okay, and create application files. If you want to create like any application files with this, okay, then you can create as well. Okay, and before that, yeah, the last two options is like in, let me go back. This we use very frequently, import XML and show XML. So import XML. So in XML format, which we can import. So before I showed you like an Excel sheet, which we can import, right? So here only the XML data will be, XML format data will be imported. So that can be uploaded from a local machine and can be imported. And then you can show XML. So XML format. So see, this is an XML format of all the records. So if you want to search something, the backend value of anything, okay, then you can search over here like this. Let's say example caller. So caller ID of this and then category and everything will be available. So just to identify or check it, whether the field is there, whether the field value is empty or something, okay, everything which will be displayed there, show XML. Okay, so this is about like in the column options available. Okay, now we'll go with like in the cell options here. Show matching, filter out. So these two which we use very frequently, let me do. So show matching is nothing but, so if I click on like in one specific value of any record, let's say Fred Lurdy. Okay, so if I click on Fred Lurdy, the same values wherever we have for the rest of our records that will come up. See the Fred Lurdy wherever we have like in column value is displayed over here, right? So in the same way, filter out is something which is opposite to show matching. So the same thing will come up, right? So now filter out, these will be skipped up. The Fred Lurdy, except Fred Lurdy, all the values will showcased. That's how about like in show matching and filter out. Okay. The next thing, copy URL to clipboard. So this URL will be copied if I click over here. So this will be copied over here. See, let me paste it here. See the same thing which is copied. Okay. And the same way here, it will copy the sys of the record. So if I open this one, so see, this is a sys, or else here also we can check it out, copy sys. So sys is nothing but one GUID kind of thing, unique value of the specific record. Okay, so we can copy that as well by clicking over here and assign tag. If I want to assign any tags, then that will, which I can go ahead. And then record is nothing but which I can hide it. And assign to me is nothing but, let's say that is assigned to value field, and here we do have like in multiple assigned to persons. Okay, so if I want to assign any ticket with my ID, then I can click on assign to me. Okay, and then follow on live feed and show live feed is nothing but what are the updates of that specific records. So is there any kind of live feeds, or is there any updates from my end user and everything which will be followed. Okay, show live feed. Just click on like and show live feed. There is like a few security constraints right now. And as of now, I haven't used it before. Okay, show live feed is something, it will showcase, let's say example, there is additional comments actually, so that will come up. See, these are the additional comments which will be shown over there. Is there any updates? If someone is like in commenting on that specific thing, those things will be displayed. And add to visual taskboard. So as I showed you before in the column options as well, we have here as well add to visual taskboard. So here we can utilize by using like a name or something which we can go ahead with like in visual taskboards. This also I haven't used it now, as of now. Okay, so these are the options of like in column options and the cell options over here. Okay, so let me go with like in these options available here. See, this and this. These are like in leftover. So this is the activity stream of a flyout window. So it will showcase like in the activities of this records. You see the network issues like in this is open and everything which will come up. Okay, and if I go back, this is the one which we use as well, personalizer list. Okay, so see, did you get like in thought that here we have a multiple fields in a form view, but whereas in the list view we do have like an only few fields is displaying over here, right? So open, short description and everything, so rest of the thing is not available. So if I want to display, I don't want to showcase like an open here, double click on that, and then I need to add something else. Let's say example, subcategory. So you can add the subcategory as well. So double tap or else single click with the add or remove you can do. Okay, so now what I did, I was using subcategory, I'm moving after the short description, which we can maintain, which we can go ahead with like in one by one. Okay, click on like an okay. Now the subcategory will come after short description, and I removed the opened as well. So it's nothing but what kind of fields which should be displayed in the list view, so that the data view will be like in more interactive. So the unnecessary fields which you can remove from here, and then those which things which you just need to filter out, which field value should be like in showcased. Okay, so those can be kept in a selected. Okay, then you can click on OK. Then that will be available. Okay, and the next thing is like an actions on selected rows. Let's say example, if I selected few stuff. Okay, so those which I can achieve at the same time, which I can delete it, and which all the things which whatever which is available over here. Okay, those things which I can utilize by using this actions on selected rows. If I click on like and those two, and if I click on delete, and those two will be deleted. Okay, so those actions can be done in a multiple way as well. So we can do by using like in this as well, update selected, and then this both are same, but we do have like in multiple options here. Okay, and then new, we know about it. So whenever we click on new button, it will be displayed as a new record, and we will create a new record. Okay, so let me go back. And the last thing is like in see, this is the one which displays like in how many records are there and how many are there in the same next page. And if I move to the next page, okay, now 21 to 40 records is displaying here. And the next thing which I go with like a next one, 41 to 60 records is displaying here. If I move this one, then 61 to 69, only 9 records there in the last page. Okay, so that's how which we can go ahead in a list view and list view options. Now we are aware of like in what is form view, what is list view, and list view options is done, and filters and conditions also done. So now we'll go with like in form view. Okay, so form view. So most of the form view, in the form view, most of the options is already covered in the list view. Let me go with like in if there is any new stuff. Okay, so just click on like a new. Save is nothing, but as I told you yesterday as well, we have a save and submit as well. Okay, so both will be creating a record or updating a record. If I click on a save, then I will see here there is a pop-up as well, save, record, and remind here. So I can remind in the same page. If I click on like and submit, then it will redirect it to the before page. Okay, so let me go with like in save is that what and configure. So the same options available in a list view will be available here as well, and export also, which we can export in a portrait, landscape, and XML. Okay, in a PDF format, and then create favorite. We can make it as a favorite, and we can copy the URL, SysID, and reloading a form. Okay, the options which is available over here and there is same. And then these things and all is like it depends on the field, table and table, so the fields will be like in vary. If I open a user record, so the fields are different. If I open a group record, the fields are different, whereas here the incident table fields are different. So whenever we discussing about like an incident table, sorry, incident management, okay, then we will discuss about like an each and every field, what's the purpose of that, and what we will do, and what's the value will be placed over there in the each field. We will discuss there. Okay, and here see there is like an attachment, so we can add attachments as well for this specific record. Okay, and here we have a toggle bars as well, personalize the list, which we can showcase like in few fields. Okay, and the rest which we can go ahead. See here, I can what I did now, I just removed that urgency field. Okay, so that's how which we can go ahead. See if I click on like an urgency, and that came up. Okay, this also personalized form which we got in a recent version only, before it was not there. Okay, next thing, if I click on like in this is a toggle template bar. So here we can set up like in few template bars, and we, let's say I just need to set up any kind of filters or something, only those records should be, those values should be related, then I can click on like in toggle bar and go ahead. Okay, and submit we know, and resolve. If I want to resolve this one, then I can click on resolve, and I can resolve the tickets like an instant form. Okay, so these are the options which is available. If I go with like an existing record, this is a new record, right? Okay, so if I open like a new record, there will be like in few more options available. See here, we have a update, delete. Okay, and then if I click here, see here I have a add to visual dashboard, copy incident. I can copy this incident. I can copy the incident task. we can create a outage, request, child incident I can create, change I can create, okay, all the things which I can go ahead, and these options which is already there. Okay, so that's how which we can go ahead with like in list and form view, options, filters, and conditions. Now let me go with like in your questions. All good? And one more thing, so these things, whatever the options which we discuss right now, will be there for each and every table, not only for the incident table, but whereas here these I showed you right for the existing record. So these things will be like in vary according to the table, but whereas the standard things will be like in same. Okay, you can navigate to like an user table and you can check it as well. Let me show you. Let's say example, if I navigate to like an user, see I have like in filters, options, everything. The same thing will be available. If I open the record as well, I'll get the value. I'll get the same stuff. Let this load, see here. Here we have a insert and stay. Instead of here we have a another data. It depends on like a table, it will vary, but we have a constant value. Options will be available for each and every table. Okay, even here also I can try the search and filters, conditions and everything. Okay, so that's how. Just go with your questions, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, Priyanka.
Yes, right. Okay, so no questions so far. What? Okay, so your silence is nothing but all clear, right?
Yes, but a little confusion.
No problem. I will upload the video. Nothing but it is just knowing about like in the purpose of the option available. So if you know that in future you can utilize that. That's it. Okay, so I'll upload the video as soon as possible. Okay, just go through it, listen again, and then try from your end. It's really easy. No need to worry about it. If still you have like an confusion, your concerns regarding this, let me know. I'll clear that. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sure, guys, all clear, I guess. Okay, then. So we'll meet tomorrow. Okay, until then, take care, guys. Bye bye.
Priyanka, can I
Yes.
share my email ID? I think I haven't given my email ID to you.
No
For
problem.
videos.
I have shared you for email, for videos. Okay,
Yeah,
you
I
send that to like in Prakash, sir, or else
yes,
even
yes, yeah.
you can
I'm
mention.
referring from Prakash, but he is not replying.
Oh, okay. Even today, I'm not gonna share it actually. Okay, so tomorrow I'll work on like in with everyone and get a confirmation, and tomorrow evening or Saturday I'll upload.
And
And
also, can you please check with Prakash on this group, adding the group
oh no,
for communication?
the thing was like an already done. Let me stop recording and discuss this. One
Okay, sure.